Good evening. Welcome to the Town of Limerick Budget Committee meeting for August 11th. We did have a member resign, and we had someone that did step up. And until we have a full board, I'm going to recommend that we table the discussion for a chair.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Yeah.
Okay. So we will bring that up at our next meeting. In the meantime, I was elected as vice chair, so I will run this meeting unless anybody has any objections. Okay, so we're here tonight to discuss the special town meeting warrant that will be held on Tuesday, September 2nd. There are a total of four articles. The first article is to choose a moderator. The second article, the board is looking for a recommendation from the Budget Committee that states that the town vote to transfer $12,500 from the Brick Town Hall Building and Grounds Maintenance Account E30-2-15-91 to the Municipal Building and Grounds Maintenance Account E30-01-15-91 for the removal of dangerous trees at the municipal building. The select board have recommended a yes vote. Any discussion on that article?
Has a bid gone out for this?
What was that?
Has a bid gone out
Oh,
for
yeah.
this?
Yeah, we've gotten back several bids. Yep,
Okay.
with that, and we're going with the lowest. Yep.
So I'm trying to understand these accounts numbers that you have listed. Because E30, if I'm looking at this in the expense summary report, I'm just trying to get there, so bear with me. 10, 15. So E30 is the municipal building. O2, which I'm on O1. O2 is the Brick Town Hall. 15 is repairs and maintenance, and 91 is the buildings and grounds. There was a budget, it looks like, and I take these, I'm trying to understand, because I know that there may be some issues, but it looks like we started the year with 27,000 and we've spent 17. Is that? I'm just trying to understand the balance.
Says that we have 26,405 left. I'm showing we spent $594.
So I have a year-to-date budget adjustment of $16,253. I have a budget amount of $27,000. I have debits of $17,000, credits of $16,000, and a net of $656. So none of those match your numbers.
Well, if you take the 27 and the 1653 and add them together,
I think what we spent is 656.82. So that's, the other ones,
So what
what
was the budget adjustment? Was that?
do you know where the 16,000 came from?
I think that is part of our money that we got when we had our flood, like our flooding money, CERCO money. Some of that.
Insurance reimbursement?
That was in 2024, so it shouldn't have been. I need a green sheet. That should have rolled back, or.
Should have been here.
Because we did vote, and it was approved for the 27,000. Okay, so that would be, to me, that would be your beginning balance for the year.
And then somewhere along the way,
I don't remember ever,
according to the treasurer, we received almost $17,000 to add to that account?
For, you received it in 2025?
Well, she's put it there, then,
I think that's from that supplemental, another town meeting, that special town meeting.
no,
After the fact, you know, we had that vote.
yeah, we didn't move any money for that, though.
No, I mean, we raised some more money in there. That's the only thing I could think of.
So, let's look.
Because the 16,000 would have been a check that she would have received in 2025 in order to increase that. Now, it says budget adjustment, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we have the money to move it.
You wouldn't have a carryover balance.
You would not,
No.
Howard, this would go zero.
Yeah, that's true.
It goes to zero.
This goes to zero, so your beginning balance would be 27,000. And if your debits are correct, you've spent 17, giving you 10. And you're asking to move 12,5. So I'm just trying to understand what the 16 received is, that's all. Ultimately, the account, I don't think it would matter, I'm just trying to understand, that's all. Unfortunately, I don't have the detail, I just have a summary.
Yeah, and I looked at the revenue account, there's no single
Check.
extra revenue of 16,583, or whatever that number is.
Okay.
So without the treasurer being here, I don't think we have, the revenue account isn't detailed enough.
I want to make sure I understand, because the E stands for expense, so you're looking at expense accounts, right? Okay, so, yep. Is everybody following along where I'm finding those? Okay.
I know I had a question with the treasurer on another account, and that year-to-date adjustment was money that was approved after the town meeting.
I'm not aware of any, we haven't voted on any other articles to move money, Howard, this year.
Well, we did. We had a special town meeting right after March.
Okay?
It shouldn't have affected this.
It should,
That was the administration budget.
right.
Those numbers, she hadn't even put the numbers in yet to do an adjustment. She waited for after that meeting, so there wouldn't have even been an adjustment on that. So I don't know, I guess,
So I will leave it to the board's pleasure as to what they'd like to do.
well, I think we really need to move on with this project.
Mm-hmm.
Either the $2,000 probably isn't gonna overexpend that account if it's not there.
In total, it will not
And
overspend.
unfortunately, these are the times we live in right now, that we have to go using our best judgment, because we don't have answers for these numbers.
So I will entertain a motion to accept Article 2 as written, and your recommendation from the committee.
We don't know if the money's actually there, do we?
So can I just
Wow.
ask is there a pressing need to get rid of these trees now? Is that what?
They are considered
Okay.
they're hazardous
Okay.
trees, so
Is there
they do
there
pose a
another
liability.
account that can be drawn from if the money doesn't exist in this account?
So if it doesn't exist on that line,
Yeah.
it still exists in so the overall account, if we overdraw that one line in the buildings and grounds,
Mhm.
there are other lines in that account that are positive enough, and will most likely make it through the year, with the $2,000 buffer that may be missing. Ideally, tomorrow, we speak to the treasurer and she says, yes, we got insurance money back in 2025, and instead of attributing it to 2024, I threw it into 2025. I don't know that that's the answer, but she has $16,000, almost $17,000 in there from something. Until we know what that is, it's kind of hard to. With that,
Is there a way to get her in here before we end the meeting?
Will she know the answer to that question?
In theory.
I have not seen a detailed ledger posted on the website either. I went out looking.
I've received nothing this year.
I've received nothing this year.
a detailed expense ledger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually about 100 pages, John, by now.
Yeah. I think we have received one at some point, I don't know. Let me look. I want to look back at some reports that we did receive and try to determine when, get at least kind of a time frame.
What was,
That
what
amount
was,
looks, so
what
that
was
was
the-
printed on August 1st.
what was the bid coming in for the trees?
It's, I can go look, I'm pretty sure it's 17, because the difference between the two, I think, was either 500 or 1,000, first and second place. But that, so it's, excuse me, 12.5 for here, and then the other is for Tibbetts Park, which we have money in that account already to do, so that's not included in this.
No, the reason I'm asking is the 17,000 for both Tibbetts and the building here?
Yes, no, yes, but it's broke, so 12.5, he broke it out, so 12.5 is only for here.
Okay,
The other money to do Tibbetts Park, we have,
We
in
don't
the-
need to move any to
we don't need to
that
move it
operation.
to do that job. So it's only here that we need the money.
so 04, you're moving it to you're moving it to 00. Okay, I was trying to understand, this was highlighted, the buildings and ground in 04, 30, 04.
So these were the
91.
these were the accounts that we looked at in moving funds. So we were, we were just looking at what the municipal building now has, what buildings and grounds has. So the public place that you see that's highlighted at the bottom, the account number 91, that's where the money will come from to pay for Tibbetts Park, which is 4,500. But we don't need to transfer anything there. We have that,
No.
those.
Okay, I was trying to understand. what
Sorry,
the
I
ti-
should have, yes, I should have explained
It's
it.
okay.
So the bid that we're going with is 17,000 total
Mhm.
for both places.
So Howard, you said that Julie will call us back in a few minutes?
She's home, but she's out of the house right now, she's going to look it up.
Okay, so I'll entertain a motion to table Article 2 to give the treasurer a few minutes to look that up. If you guys don't mind, we'll go on to
So-
Article 3.
Okay.
Okay. Article 3, shall the town vote to transfer the remaining balance of the special revenue account R250202 for the town consensual, what?
Quinticentennial.
Quincentennial, thank you, celebration to account G3 64200, special reserve account for the restoration of the antique fire truck. The select board recommends a yes vote. Okay. Well, that was one of my questions. What does G3 stand for?
General?
Yeah, so it's a general account that was set up.
Your special revenue accounts are in Fund 4. Should not be in Fund 3. So I have an issue with the account, and we have not voted to establish a special reserve account for the restoration. Now,
We already have it, it's in place. It's an existing account.
which existing account is it?
There was an existing account for the old fire truck, don't know what it was called.
It's, so the special, so the restoration antique fire truck account is G3642. That's the special reserve account that we've been using money for the town celebration is R250202.
Yep, so I understand the R, but what I'm saying is, I'm looking at this general ledger summary, which is a report of every single revenue and expense account in this town, according to the treasurer. There is nothing labeled special reserve account for the a restoration of the antique fire truck listed on these pages. If you can help me find that, that would be great. And I'm looking at your special revenue accounts, which is where we're typically putting all of the donations. We put the library donations there, the fire department donations, the recreation donations, the transfer station donations. This would be a donation because these are donations that people have given to the celebration that were unexpended. So I would be thinking that they would follow the same suit as every other donation account in this community. And I'm just wondering why they're different.
You're saying there's no account to receive that money?
There is
And then
no
to
account.
expend against it?
There's no, I can see the special revenue that was set up for the celebration, the 250. I see that set here in the revenue. What I don't see is the fact that we are being asked to transfer that remaining balance, whatever that may be, into a special reserve account for the restoration of the antique fire truck.
We did, and on August 1st, she says this has already been completed, and she gives this number.
What number, Alicia?
G3-643-00.
So,
4-3.
Oh,
642
64200 is the SB, the SCBA's.
is the SCBA's.
It has to be in
So it's 643, so
So-
that's a my,
So 03 is
Do
a
I need to
capital
fix that?
reserve account.
but it still should show, we still should be able to see it on here under 642, it should be 643-00. Because this was just printed today. So I need to fix that number.
So that, those bills for the advertising is coming out of 642, correct?
No,
No,
no, this account is, this is what we want people to approve to transfer what's left out of R250202, which is everything that you've been doing for the town celebration.
right. So
The expense account for the celebration, where are the expenses?
there is no expense account for the celebration. From what I can tell, the revenue and the expenses are going into the same account.
You don't put expenses and revenues, you don't mix them into the same account.
Ever.
General accounting principles.
So
Wow. I'm gonna go through those.
from what I can tell, you are mixing revenue and expenses together, which is a big no-no.
What was said at one selectmen meeting was they were going, when the whole thing was over, and I don't know where they were getting the money from the start, I thought, for that. They were gonna be giving them the revenue from that celebration. In fact, it was, we got $3,000 in.
There's no question about that.
No,
No
that's,
question.
yeah, that's,
Accounting.
It's the accounting principles.
it's how she
Alex.
set up the account.
I know she accepted it,
Accepted what?
accepted the money.
She didn't set it, but she also spent the money out of a revenue account.
so it's the account that she has set up wrong.
So I don't disagree, I hear that all the time, you can't put expense and revenues together. So if you have an expense account,
Expense account.
you have an expense account,
Yes.
and they put all the expenses for this to that expense account, how do you fund that expense account?
Well, in this case, it would go negative, okay, because it was not something that was established with a balance that the town voted on.
Okay?
Okay, so when we're presented with an article like this, we would ask to offset the revenue and the expenses, so that way you'd get your true number,
So,
and then you would move that balance
I'm
over.
not trying to build a clock, I want to know what
Yeah.
time it is,
Oh,
okay? When you have an expense account,
mhm.
where do you get the money to pay for those expenses?
From that.
From the revenue account in
From the
which,
revenue account.
Not,
Yeah.
no,
But
not
Or
from the revenue account.
from the-
from the expense
The
account?
fund, the fund.
So-
You gotta move the money into the fund.
So does the expense account have a fund? And I'm asking on the Congress,
Every fund,
because I had the same conversation with the auditor last week,
yeah.
and I'm just wondering, because I don't understand. Simple math to me is, you take in $10,000 in donations,
Yeah.
you put it at the top line, and you start subtracting as you have expenses.
Not this kind of thing.
Well,
So-
voodoo
so let-
accounting, because-
No,
let-
it's not voodoo
Of
account.
course it is.
so let me,
How do you know what your true revenues are then? Because
You
you're,
look at the
you're
top line.
okay,
taking, no, how much revenue did you take in all year long? She's supposed to report that.
It's addition and subtraction. When $1,000 comes in, you put a plus sign in front of it.
at the
When
end of,
$1,000 goes out, you put a negative
at the end
sign
of-
in front
It's not accounting.
the,
That's not-
Well,
Except for
here's part of my issue when you do this, John, okay? We do not get the revenue detail, because we've been told repeatedly that the budget committee should not be dabbling in revenue, okay? The problem is when you start paying expenses out of revenue accounts and not giving me the detail, I can't tell what your expenses truly are, okay? So for me, trying to sit here and help you set a budget and know that what you're actually expending, so we've got to make some accounting policies on how we do this. This town has historically set up expense accounts to cover expenses, and then revenue accounts, and at the end of the year, with the auditor's help, they are cleared out and cleaned. But they have tried, in the order of transparency, to keep those separate. In this case, that did not happen, which is fine. But I don't know, from a revenue standpoint, first of all, I know the selectmen voted to establish this reserve account, but we have also always asked the people if they wish to do that.
On the rec, by the way.
I'm sorry?
This is all handled on the rec department.
Well, you can't do the restoration of the fire department that the fire department owns all operational expenses for, Howard, under the rec department.
I realize that, no, the money that was generated from this little celebration.
Yes, came in under the rec department.
Under the offices of the rec department.
Yes.
And the revenue from that is going to be transferred
To
over
this account.
to this account.
I understand that, Howard. The people of this town have not voted to establish this special reserve account for the restoration of the fire truck. We have always asked the people if they wish to establish these accounts and transfer them.
You know why? Because this was all started after the town meeting.
I can't help that. You could put an article here that says, before Article 3, you could put an article in here that says, do you wish to establish a special reserve account? But that's not what was done here.
I know what you're saying, but the kind of they created this situation after the fact, after the budget was approved.
Doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter, Howard. You have the right now to you have the ability on this warrant to correct that. And we're not. We're making it deeper and worse with this warrant. okay? So we need to stop and we need to fix what we've broken. We've got a crack in the window, let's seal it. Okay, does that make
I was
sense?
gonna say, I didn't remember us ever voting as a town to have that done.
And from what I can gather, under G3, I have to assume that 3 is Fund 3, which is your capital accounts, okay? Fund 4 is your special revenue accounts, where all other donations, whether they're for the library, whether they're for the fire department, whether they are for the, I don't know, transfer station, all go here in Fund 4. So I'm asking, as you are moving this remaining money, why are you treating this fund differently than you are treating any other donation account in this town? Because that's what you're doing here in this article. G3642. Am I to understand that
It's gonna be 643.
643, still, 643, the 3 stands for Fund 3. Am I correct in saying that? That is that is capital. So you're now treating donations as capital. Don't think that's correct. And accounting principles, maybe I'm wrong.
No, it's not capital. It should be under special.
That's the issue I have with putting account numbers in here. Does that make sense, Howard, what I'm seeing, what I'm looking at?
I wish they would chat accounts here.
Well, you do, right in the top. If you look, the gray bar at the very top says administration. So 01 is your general fund, 02 is administration type thing,
Page 3.
03 is your capital, and 04 is your
Special revenue.
special revenue. And as you can see, I don't see that count set up, and I don't see,
I know through this whole process, to having this leading up here, all the monies that have come in have gone into one account. I know she's been collecting it, putting it in one account.
she's been collecting the revenues and paying the invoices out of one account, Howard, which is not
I
a,
don't know about paying out.
huh,
I really
I-
don't.
No, that is where it's come from.
yes,
That's where we've asked it to come from. That is true.
okay.
It's one account
there's-
they're working.
I don't have a problem with moving it. I just need to make sure we're moving it to the right place and in the right designation into the general ledger. And I don't think that this is, donations should not be capital. And that's where we're putting it. So before we get ourselves into hot water, before we get ourselves into
Well, the
more
account,
hot
if the
water.
account is not actually set up yet, which according to the general ledger as of today, it is not.
Well, but that's nothing that has occurred. I mean, that, we were told it was.
Right. No, I
I-
know that.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm just,
And in this case, it should also start with a 5, to be very, or 6, to, well, it does start with a 6. You could put it as 642 still, or 643.
well, you could if you're changing
Yep.
under, yes, you're right. The 2, I will take the fault on the 642, that, it should definitely be 643, but it should be Fund 4.
And it should be called a special revenue account, not a special reserve, to be consistent with your general ledger titling. Mm-hmm.
I asked the question, how do you know what expense account goes with what fund account? And I was told that TRIO can be set up so that when you do charge an expense account, it will know what it is tied to and automatically deduct it from the fund. Karen at our auditors
RHR.
was working on setting that up, I was told, because it has never been set up, ever. So I'm hoping to see that happen. So when I call or look at a report of a fund and an account within a fund, I'll get a true number. I'm praying that's going to happen.
I know they've been working on different accounts. Karen is.
Yes, and she's right. TRIO has not been set up into the manner in which it will link.
And this, what we're talking about, may be part of that. I don't know.
It's just being handed wrong.
I can't,
I don't have an answer for it.
but Howard, fundamentally, I know that donations do not go into a capital. If you look at any description of a capital account, those monies are raised and appropriated. They may be, but they are not donations. This is why you will see the rec department has a special donation account outside of their capital and outside of their expenses and revenues. The same with the library. Okay, they have their own expense account, they have their own, and they have these donations.
That, I wonder if that money is going into that,
Into what?
into that donations for the rec department.
Well, it shouldn't, because you're asking for it to be designated to the antique fire truck, which is not overseen by the recreation department. It is overseen by the fire department, the care and maintenance of that truck. So different department. So I'm just trying to understand why we are treating these donations differently, that's all. Because these are donations that people made. These are calendar sales. They're still selling the calendar, so you're going to see more money come into this account, okay, from people, from those things.
But Stephanie, won't it always first come into the revenue account?
It will go
Then
into the,
we move?
yeah, so what will happen is it will come into the big checking account in the sky, okay? Fund 1, the general fund, okay? And then we have to move that into these donations account. We do that today. That's how we do that today. We do that with rescue billing. We do that with franchise fees. We do that with any other donation. We have one checking account, one big checking account for the entire town. And then we debit cash and credit this account and move it. You're just,
On paper only.
but it allows for some transparency.
Yep.
Okay, and you see that. And so I understand that there are still some expenses coming in. I understand that there may be there's still revenue coming in because they're still selling calendars.
There definitely will be some revenue. The expenses will be minimal at this point. I think.
But you still have few coming in.
Yeah, if any.
I don't get donations for the calendar, I know because I contributed to it.
There's going to be more expenses because they're going on to event number 2.
There's a time capsule, which I wrote at the bottom. They will have a cost for the resealing of the time capsule.
They're going on to event number
Yes.
2.
Yes,
So-
you know, there will be some.
Going to take expenses out of this account.
Okay, well, okay.
I can't remember.
You can't, the touch a trunk is something different that
They're
is under the.
combining with,
Okay, you need to you need to stop, because it's going to be very confusing for this board to determine what is under the Historical Society or these special celebrations, and what is a true expense to the rec department, okay? So you need to set up separate expense accounts for these celebrations, because these are one-time things, okay? These are not reoccurring that are going to happen every year. And we are going to have very hard time pulling those expenses out.
Kind of situation, I don't even think they should be involved in this.
Well, it should have been handled a little differently. But again, I'm just trying to get through the articles I have here. Event number 2.
So I'm trying to figure this out.
So what you see there, that is the account, a revenue account that they set up,
Okay,
okay, for the 250th celebration. And they're paying both their revenue, so when someone makes a donation, they deposit I'll say they move the money into that account, and then when a bill comes in, they also pay it out of that account, okay? Now they're asking to take the balance and move it to a capital account for a fire truck, to repair and maintain the antique fire truck.
So really, I mean, there's two parts of this. A, the account has to be different because it has to be a reserve account.
Has to be a special revenue account, not a
Capital.
special reserve account.
Right. So the account needs to change and be set up. But also, we're asking to transfer money that might or might not be there.
Well, there's no balance of a dollar given.
Right.
We just have to rely on the people who are overseeing this fund to tell us, to say to the town, all expenses have been accounted for, and all revenues have been accounted for. Probably. So I just wanted to know why these donations are, again, let me go back, why these donations are being treated differently than the other donation accounts we have in this community.
I don't think we have to vote.
I think we can only say that we asked our treasurer to set up this account for us. And that's the account number we were given.
Karen is working on those presently.
Well, this is an account she'd be working on, because
This isn't-
No, she's going through and some things there, so.
Right, but it needs, the category has to change.
6, whatever it is, 643 on that article, and get her to do it. That's all you need to do.
yeah, no, yeah.
That's all you need to do.
I mean, I don't know, does the board need to vote to change the wording on this article? The selectmen have given a yes recommendation on the way this article is worded.
We're definitely gonna have to.
Next Monday.
This may, I mean, we will be on the 18th, but maybe this needs to go on the November ballot, this question. I mean, we can vote to change it, we don't have enough time to have a budget committee meeting again and get it to the treasurer,
And I will not be here on the 18th. I am leaving for 2 weeks.
And I won't be here the 25th.
I have a question.
I went back to the 3rd.
You can't vote on something before the selectmen do?
We typically ask we typically do not, no. We've always worked in conjunction with the select board that if an article needed to be changed, we got their recommendation, it was changed, and then we voted on it.
I mean, I don't think their recommendation's going to change. If anything, it's going to be an account number change. That's it.
So,
Well, it's got to be a special revenue account, not a special reserve
Yes.
account.
so do we want to maybe ask Alicia to change it and have us vote on it? And then next week they can vote on it?
That is up to this board.
I just got a text from Julie.
Okay.
Says the 2025 budget for the town hall by these journals, looking at home, the original budget was $16,253. Then there was a debit and a credit that wiped each other, wiped out each other because at that point of entry, they were not put in correctly. I don't know if it was myself or my deputy that did it, but they were one wiped out the other.
Okay.
Without having the actual journals to look at, that's the best I can see. I'm thinking of the detail and we're going to in the morning when we have the actual documents in hand.
Okay.
All I got.
Okay, so if I look at this, Howard, if I say your 16,000 and your 16,000 wipe each other out, okay? You started the year with 27,000. Just started the year with 27,000. You've spent 17.
That leaves 10.
You're asking to move 12.
Well, the original budget, we had $27,000. And then there was a $16,000.
Can you look at the green sheet and see what the original Bricktown Hall budget was?
20, for this
It
particular
wasn't
line item,
16,
it was 27.
27.
27.
It wasn't 16.
It was not 16. So even if you say that the two cancel each other out, Alicia, now
16,
I'm,
17, yeah, I know.
The money that has been coming in from
I can't take one account and make it go negative. I can't transfer something that's not there.
So,
It just looks like, I think what to me is accurate is we had 27 and we've only spent 656 out of it.
Go ahead, Howard.
I can't in my head wrap around the 16, 17 credit, 16 for, like, I don't.
Go ahead.
So the money that's been coming in, that's been going into a revenue account,
Mm-hmm.
for what? Revenue account for the rec department.
Yeah, and the expenses have been coming out of that same revenue account.
And has the expenses been coming out of that also? Same line,
Same line, okay.
okay?
So ask her why we're setting up a capital account for these donations.
Why are we setting up a capital account for those donations?
he should just go first before the mic.
No, I want him to explain, to explain it to me.
So can I move to have
There is no,
Alicia, if she's willing,
there is no capital account then.
rewrite the article to create the special revenue
Account,
account?
Create, establish, we can.
establish.
Yeah.
Establish.
And then to transfer whatever's remaining out of that account, or out of the,
Donations.
2502.
So
But
bas-
the special
basically just
reserve-
adding the word for the town semi-quincentennial celebration to establish account G4643, special revenue account for the restoration of the antique fire truck. Is that too wordy?
With a corresponding expense account.
Yeah, so if it's, shall the town vote to transfer the remaining balance of the special reserve account R250202 for the town semi-quincentennial celebration and establish account G4643-00 special revenue account for the restoration of the antique fire truck. I don't know if that works or. is enough.
Did you say the first part, was it a revenue or a reserve? Did you use the word?
I use a special reserve account.
It's a revenue account. It's not a
So-
special. It's just a revenue account.
So special revenue
No,
account.
no, just revenue account, no special in that first.
Okay. It's not special. It's
No.
not special tonight.
It's not, it's in the general fund.
Okay, so
So-
remaining balance
so
of the
revenue
revenue account, R250202. Okay.
Yes.
Do we want to say after event 2 be transferred?
I know, I didn't know how,
No, because event 2 should be.
Oh, there's
um,
still revenues coming in for that.
But event 2 should be set up differently so that we understand the revenue and the expenses associated with event 2.
well, and that's why I'm wondering really if it should go on the November ballot, since that event is the end of September. It's not like a question that can't. And
It
we,
can wait until the March of next year.
well, true.
When is, what warrant is this, what is for, what is it for?
September 2nd.
Why can't you vote on, why can't the selectmen vote on this on the 18th?
Does that include the 3,000?
So we,
It's a paper ballot.
this has to be to Dee Dee. I think I have to have it to her. So the board will sign their copies on the 18th. I will leave them for her to have. I think the 18th
You
is the day
can
she wanted
modify
them.
this, you can modify this on the floor,
Well, that's
but-
true too.
but I would like to try, I'm trying to,
You guys did not have that conversation at that meeting, because I will be there if you do.
I hope you're not sick, Gail.
So should we table this one until
I've got the record through it.
to a later vote? Till November or March?
we can make
So
a-
we certainly can fix it for, so the only thing about, and we can add it to the November ballot, it's not a problem. We still, like, that ballot is due to the town clerk on September 2nd, the day that we're having this meeting. Because you
And
have to have, there's
and
just
so you still
two.
you're still in this activity period.
Yeah, so
So the question
the
really
question can be
becomes,
rewritten and worded differently, but, which I'm
But-
happy to do tonight if you guys are good with that to vote, and then the board vote on the 18th on it, but.
or do we just ask that they
can't.
pull the article, wait till all of the activity from both one event and the second event are done?
Which would be a March ballot.
And then would be a
vote.
March
It
vote.
would have to be, yeah.
I think that's gonna be the better route.
Are you gonna continue?
Especially if there's
a revenue account, is that what you're suggesting?
Well, there's two options. They can continue down the path that they're going, or we can ask that event 2 be set up properly in the general ledger, now that we're a little wiser.
I was under the impression it was set up.
For event 2? So,
No.
No.
Event 2 business.
no.
No, he just
So-
means in general.
So
With
again, revenue and expenses, Howard, are typically not mixed in the same account. In accounting, they are separate so that you can clearly see. And what happens is, what happens if you don't take in enough revenue to cover your expenses? Now you've got a negative revenue account, and who makes up that fund? Who makes up that revenue? Right now, I can't see that, because we've kind of mixed it, and we've muddied the waters a little bit.
She just mentioned that she gave me 3 printouts today. And of course, I got down and she gave me this one. And I don't have the other 2, because she said that, on the phone, she said that account's on the other sheet.
Mm.
So,
And that's part of the issue. That's part of the issue for this board has always been getting a complete set of general ledger, because there have been times when expenses have been paid out of revenue accounts, and we are blind to them because we're not given the complete general ledger, we're only given the expense accounts.
I said it before, and I'm gonna say it again, when we had the old accounting system, we had a handle on it. But this new trio, I think, if I had my way, I'd chuck it.
Well, Trio is the same program, We just updated it to a more Windows-based program. The underlying functionality of Trio is still there.
So I'm gonna move to,
You're gonna make a motion?
yes, I am going to make a motion to get rid of, to remove Article 3 altogether and let it get worked out and figured out and go on the March ballot.
We'd need the selectmen's approval to do that. And they're not here tonight to do that. So we can make a
No recommendation?
no recommendation.
Then I'm gonna move to,
At least we read it with the correct 643. And then if you want to do your recommendation, and then the board can, if they want to take it out on the 18th, I guess we can. Right, they can do that?
Yeah, I mean, we can make the recommendation of
Yeah,
a no vote with the recommendation is a no vote with the intent to move this article to the March 2026
Yeah, I feel
ballot.
like that is your option. Yeah.
Can we put that as the Budget Committee's recommendation?
Underneath it?
Mhm.
A no vote with what? Say that again?
With the recommendation that we move this article to the March 2026?
Yes, but by then, 12/31 will have happened, and the monies in that revenue account will go into the general fund, and there won't be any money to put into the fire truck account. It'll be in the general fund.
Because,
We need to take care of it this year.
well, we can do that with a
Special town meeting.
special town meeting, but based on the wording of this article today, and what your intent is, needs to be revisited because you shouldn't be putting donations into Fund 3, which is your capital. And you need to revisit how to set up the accounting structure for clarity.
Howard, this board was asked to meet right away. Why can't your board meet before
I
Monday?
thought we were all showing up tonight, then
Why can't they all call Brady and have them write the article correctly, and you get them in here, three of them, and vote on it before Monday? What's wrong with that? This board is asked all the time
if you
to
can
jump
get
through hoops.
it, can't speak for the rest of them.
What would this article need to, what does this article need to say? Because it sounds like we have a much deeper problem,
You do,
so,
you do.
than
And
just calling the board in tomorrow night and.
So you have a couple of things. You need to remove the word special reserve in the
Yes.
first sentence,
Yeah, so
and
it
just
says
put revenue account.
Yep,
Okay? The G3 needs to be
G4.
G4, and then 643.
Yep.
And it's a special revenue account versus a special reserve account.
Yep.
And you also need to establish the antique fire truck special,
revenue account.
yeah. Now, that's not going to solve your problem with how you are currently set up in the general ledger
That's what I mean, like.
for event number 2.
Needs to work with what we've got.
That's material.
That, so, you know,
My opinion, to all my crowd, is, I would like to change I'm happy to change the revenue account and the number. Have you vote no. If I take it to the board on Monday, they can decide if they take it off, and we'll
Well,
have to have a special town meeting for it separately before the
then-
end of the year.
then
Because I
what
don't feel like we can meet again,
then
with
what I'm
you
going to
guys.
recommend is that,
but I agree, I don't know as March is the right answer.
do we know, do we have an anticipation date of when revenues and expenses will be 100% received for event number 1.
Though, well, I mean, you
12/31.
technically, I think with the calendar sales, it's hard to say that's still event number 1. Calendar sales are still gonna happen at event number 2 and through this time period, right now.
So what I'm looking to do is to also put into this article
I
that
mean,
you
no,
will,
September 30th is the event number, that's it, I think that
It's
that
to-
is the end.
it's to set a date to remove your revenue account R250202, okay? By October 1st, you will, whatever that balance is, you will transfer it. Anything coming in after that, we will establish a new revenue and a new expense account.
That makes sense.
Pick a date, okay? If you're going to start working and taking donations for event number 2, you need to set up that new account today for revenue and expenses, and nothing goes into this revenue account unless it is event 1. But now that's onus on you, Alicia, to know which event they're talking about. And I don't know that you want to take that on. So that's why I'm saying,
Wondering what this event number 2 is.
If you-
in for revenue.
Well, if we establish that account and it's a donation account, if anything comes in after that date, isn't it allowed then to go into that donation account?
you don't know what you're not going to take your expenses out of it, are you? You have event 2.
At that point, there shouldn't be any expenses.
For event 2?
Well, after, if we set a date, after, so if the event's on the 30th, right? it's
No,
not-
no, no, I'm saying sunset event 1. The event that just happened,
Yes.
right? You have small expenses that you're still
I think
looking
that
to
there
come.
are, yes, there are a few, yep.
They're still doing calendar sales, okay? So what I'm saying is, as of September 1st, event 1 is closed. Okay, and we closed down the R250202. Now, event 2, when you go to start that event and you are fundraising for that event and you are also incurring expenses, you're gonna have paper you're gonna buy, you establish another special revenue account and you establish a corresponding expense account with that. You have to have all of that done by December 31st, because in theory, TRIO is going to take these revenue accounts and move them all to the general fund and zero them out, because that is our accounting practice.
Monies in the fund will remain, right?
Monies in the fund,
Those do, yeah.
the special revenue, yes,
Fund will remain.
The funds do, yeah.
the funds do. Which is why it's important to put them in Fund 3 or Fund 4. Okay, but Fund 1, which is where your revenue account is, will go to 0/1/2026.
Yeah.
And you will lose sight of what you have for revenue.
Well, I think that's why we're doing this.
Well, Howard, it's okay for the town to get involved in it, but you just have to set it
Just
up
has to be set up
appropriately
correctly.
for transparency and accounting purposes.
When you run things through the books
Mm-hmm.
for a particular, in this case, the rec department,
You should have set up, you did set up a revenue account to do that. That was correct. But
Just
a
the
corresponding
expense.
expense account needed to be established because you're mixing, you run the risk of mixing expenses, okay, with traditional rec expenses.
This
Yeah.
was done before you were elected, and the select board asked these organizations
Take
to
one.
do this event.
Yeah.
They
there's nothing wrong with what was done. Nothing wrong. It's just accounting-wise, it's not best practices were followed, and we're just muddying the waters a little bit more. And we need to stop muddying the waters for us. And I'm not trying to be difficult, I'm just trying to understand.
So how can we simplify this without changing our accounting practices until it's practical for that to happen in the treasurer's department?
I was gonna say, this is kind of on the selectmen, we're a budget committee, right? We work with the budget, they work with the accounts.
Well, we should understand the accounts.
Oh, yeah.
And so, you know, that's what I'm trying to do.
When I got back on the board, this accounting system is far different from when I've dealt with it before.
Yeah.
Drastic difference. And to me, it's
Muddy?
ridiculous.
We can simplify it, Howard, very easily.
Has to just be done correctly, that's all.
So, what is the board's pleasure on Article 3? Would you like to make,
I'm happy to go change those words and change it to the account correct number. I don't know if that matters or any
It'll be in writing before we vote on it.
difference.
And then we can vote on it, and then they can vote on it at their meeting next week.
Yes.
Okay.
I think that's gonna be the better option.
okay. So with the changes that we've spoken about, what would be your recommendation?
With the changes?
There's an amendment on the floor, if you will. There's a motion on the floor to amend the article.
I will second that motion to amend. Oh,
Okay.
wait, did I make the motion?
Okay. So now we will vote on the amended article, which will say, shall the town vote to transfer the remaining balance of the revenue account R2502-02 to the town, from the town quincentennial celebration to account G4 643-00 special revenue account for the restoration of the antique fire truck and establish,
Do you want to say so for the town semi-quincentennial celebration and establish account G4643-00?
yes,
There, say it
Yes.
there.
say it there. And then transfer, yeah.
Do we need to say transfer again, though, or we
No.
say at the beginning?
No,
Okay.
here's my concern. If you are going to use R250202 for event number 2, Alicia, you're never going to know that ending balance.
Correct.
So at some point, so before event number 2 starts happening, I would recommend setting up a second, because the other thing is it still part of the 250th? Because you have labeled that account the 250th celebration.
It's not, but they're gonna use those funds for their expenses.
They,
Just saying,
they can't if we move it into a revenue account. Because, and that's what I'm saying. That's where I'm saying, at some point, you have to stop using R250202.
I would say, once you transfer it into the antique fire truck.
And once you
it's
transfer it into that antique fire truck, you cannot use it for anything else except for that antique fire truck. Because that's what you're telling the people.
That's what they're planning on.
But, they're
That's
gonna,
what I'm told.
but Howard, that's not what we've been told. We were just told that we're going to use our 250202 for round 2.
Which is
Yes.
the time capsule, is that?
Yes.
That is, and so this is donations for the 250th celebration. If event 2 is something different, which it is, because we've already done the celebration for the 250th, you need to establish a different revenue and expense account for event 2. You cannot use the same account.
There again, I want to know what round 2 is.
Time capsule.
It's the time capsule.
My understanding is round 2 is,
All going to be done this round.
No, round 2 is they are coordinating with the Carols, Mike Carroll, and doing the touch a truck.
a touch-a-truck and a time, and a new time capsule.
Yes, and the resealing, so then it's the resealing of the time capsule, which they put out at the beginning, so it's not, this isn't new information for townspeople. They've said it's a two event thing, right from the beginning.
Okay,
They've said
then
that.
this article shouldn't,
So-
no, this article shouldn't even be here until those events are done.
Right, but you're gonna move it to the fire truck.
If you move it to the fire truck, the minute you move it to the fire truck, the only thing it can be used for is the fire truck. End of conversation.
So I'm just gonna vote no. Can I move to just vote no on this article?
You can remove to vote no.
But Julie doesn't have to move it until both events are complete, correct?
Well, that's what you're asking for.
Well, I know, but I'm saying, like, if there anything else that comes out of it, I know what you mean, like, once it's moved, but,
Maybe put the date of November 30th in
This,
there?
to me, this is putting the cart before the horse.
I'm gonna tell that to the, do you want to repeat it to them?
This article's a moot point if you're gonna use those
You
funds.
can do that with, I would do that with Alicia, that's fine, yeah, okay, all right, thank you. Thank you. All right, that was the co-chair and Marie Carroll.
Yes.
They said, no, they're not gonna need expenses for the touch event number 2, but they're going to still have revenue and expenses for the time capsule, and there will be calendar sales, and there might be some residual
So-
little expenses coming in this year.
In this year, so,
They sell calendars at $12.31.
So they can't have any of
so this
For the
article
fire
is a little bit ahead of its time.
It's premature.
It's a little premature because you haven't received all the expenses. You may, the time capsule, the resealing of the time capsule, you're going to have some expenses for that, I would imagine.
Yeah,
Cement.
unless it's donated, which I believe it was before.
It could be, but we don't know that today, so we have to plan for the fact that someone may want $50, Howard, for a bag of cement to go buy a bag at Lowe's and mix it. They may donate the labor.
All you're voting on is to move it, and you can do that on 12/31.
But yeah, you can do that on 12/31.
I don't think anybody has any problem in principle.
I don't,
of
it's
moving
not the
money.
principle.
It's just a matter of putting it in the right spot.
well, you
It's
still need to technically vote to establish the count, correct?
You do. I don't have a problem with what you're doing. It's just
It's premature.
the timing. So. And let me say this, I mean, if you were to move, if we establish this on September 2nd, and she moves that money on September 3rd, because we've voted to do that, you will not have anything that
But it-
potential.
I guess the next question is, do you have to do it? What period of time does this give?
So the
That's
way,
right,
the
yeah.
way that this revenue
And
account,
It's done within the fiscal year.
right, so.
That's what I wondered.
So the revenue account, R250202, okay, will sunset on 12/31 and go to 0. So you have to move this money before 12/31.
That, yeah.
So
Okay.
maybe for the town, blah, 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 shall transfer, on December 30th
Bye.
to this account.
But we can say that,
Or just before
But-
year end.
plain and simple, but you have to understand the risk with that, Howard. If there is an expense that is associated to the Celebration 250 that comes in on 12/31, the town will have to pay that because it's not associated with the fire truck. It's a risk you take.
Just
We're
put the
risk
warrant
takers.
out and said all stuff after that, we're not paying it. Simple as that.
You can say that, Howard.
Simple as
Invoice it or lose it?
Okay. This is why we typically put them in special revenue accounts when we establish them. We don't put them in a
Capital.
a revenue account, like the rec department revenue. We put them in a special donations. This account should have been established as a special revenue account from the get-go.
As far as I'm concerned, in the future, if our two boards can't, all the members meet, we don't meet. Simple as that. This is ridiculous.
Welcome to,
It doesn't
welcome to
excuse the
budget
fact that
season.
the account was not set up correctly. What would we do right now with that?
Well, counts, whatever.
Well, I'm just stating,
These are bodies that should be here, and
we should, but we would still be in the same boat because we're relying on people in positions
So
for accounts.
can we establish this account and then revisit this article and just not even put this on the warrant for this?
that is a decision for the board. We have to work with what we've been presented.
Yeah, I would rather see tonight, we change the wording we just talked about, and you do a yes or no, and the board will vote on Monday.
I think we should put it, not transfer until
Can make that amendment.
December
Well, I was gonna
31st.
say, it can.
Transfer, just
Yeah,
to transfer into the new special on December 31st.
On the special revenue account.
Yeah.
So there is no antique fire truck restoration account
Not
right
today.
now?
Not today.
So there's no balance in that?
Correct.
Okay.
And we don't want to take the money for the 250th, the fundraising, and put it into that account until we know everything's come out of it that's supposed to.
which
Okay,
we
but
would ask for that
so-
request. Like, we would ask her to not do that until after the event.
That's what I'm thinking, if we do December 31st, this way the
There's a
balance
date.
rolls over.
Yeah.
I mean, is there, so if this money goes back into the general fund, whatever's left
Then
from,
it's free for all spending.
okay, so then but can then they establish this restoration of the antique fire truck
You don't want to see
account?
that happen, that's.
You don't want to
And
see
then
that happen.
You won't see it funded.
Yeah.
So, the other thing is that, the team that worked on the 250th celebration indicated that if there were any monies left over, this is the project that they wish to see their donation used for.
They have been
So-
very clear about
And they've been very clear about that, and I don't have any problem with
Yeah.
that. I don't have any problem whatsoever. I just have, it's the wording of the article and it's the timing. I just want to make sure that we've accounted for all of our expenses as much as we can. If donations come in on January 3rd, the revenue can come in, okay? That's not a problem. It's the expenses coming out. If there are expenses associated with event number 2, okay, they cannot remove it if they
it.
cannot,
Once it's been transferred.
once it's been transferred.
Yes, and I mean, and that, we would be taking Anne Marie's word, like you just did, right?
Yep.
That she's saying there isn't going to be any, so.
I always like to err on the side of caution and at
No,
least
no,
say
no,
that
I
there's
know.
500 in
But I'm just
expenses.
saying, at least we know that the vice chair isn't saying, well, you know, she's telling us that.
She doesn't foresee any expenses. She doesn't foresee.
So if we
But
put
if
the
Julie's also, if it's not transferred, if there's nothing that happens until after event 2 for a month, right? Like we have a solid month, like October 30th, November 3rd, like it's
right.
time to these before.
And I think we need to set that expectation with the committee that if there are any expenses, they need to be received prior to,
Which I know that, I mean.
which I don't foresee that being a problem either.
I mean, Anne Marie has been fantastic about, you know, I mean, every.
Right, and making sure that all of this is
Yeah, like, you know,
accounted for. I just don't want to see. So we could put 1231.
yeah, so how, try not to convolute it.
The
so
balance,
it's-
the remaining balance will not, maybe we start a second sentence.
Yeah.
The
that's-
remaining balance will not be transferred until 12/30/2025.
remaining balance will not transfer.
I told my husband I'd be home by 6:30. He's like,
That's okay, I'm still waiting for breakfast, so.
What happens,
I just asked a question.
what happens in the event they start working on that truck before December 31st, they get expensive?
They won't have the money to?
Yeah, that'll be on the fire
They won't have
department.
the money.
That'll be the next problem.
I don't think
That's,
so.
that's why part of me, I understand what you're trying to do, but that's why part of me says, if we get a yes vote tonight, Howard, the board needs to decide if they want to pull the article and move it to March. Okay?
I think it's definitely, I don't think just if we get yours tonight that we're done with the discussion of issue of the account. But
They have lots of special town meetings, some will be before December 1st, December 31st.
Yeah, I don't think that we're done.
Okay.
So,
Are we ready to
I'll-
vote?
I'll second the amended article.
can
The amended
can you read out the amended?
Yeah, let me read it to make sure that I.
Thank you.
Shall the town vote to transfer the remaining balance of the revenue account R25-0202 for the town's semi-quincentennial celebration and establish account G4643-00, special revenue account for the restoration of the antique fire truck. The remaining balance will not be transferred until 12/30/2025.
Motion to accept.
Motion to accept.
Seconded. And, okay. Would we like to vote on that article? All in favor,
As amended, yes.
as amended?
Yes.
All opposed? It is unanimous. We will give a yes recommendation on that. Okay. Now, back to Article 2. Okay.
So assuming that the 16
Just crossed
and the
out the
17 crossed out,
No, yeah.
then we have roughly 26,000 left in that account?
No,
I
10,000.
Without having a
No.
detailed thing, I honestly can't think of any big things that we have done at Bricktown Hall for that account, other than minimal things that Isaac, you know, has fixed or purchased, but there hasn't been any. So I do believe, once the 16, there's 17, however those managed in
So-
there, that I think we do really have around, because in the green sheet, there was 27 to start, so.
So we started with 27, right?
So if you really take, I think, out year-to-date, or spend it at, you know, the expenses of 656.82, I think we really should
Well,
be around.
what's the expenses of the 17?
17,000.
Where's the heat bill and the lights and the, does that come out of a different account?
Comes out of a different account.
Yeah, utilities is separate. So this is just buildings, grounds, repairs, and maintenance. So that's why I
So here's what I'm seeing, Alicia. There was a budget adjustment of 16,253 that got added to the 27, right? Is that correct, Howard, based on yours? So just high numbers, 27 and 16, right? is now 33. We then had to remove the 16. That's one of the credits. So we're back at the 27. And now I see, 43, yep, you're right, 43. Minus the 16, we're back at the 27. And now I have current month debits of 17,081. So rough estimate, 27 minus 17 is 10.
There's no way we spent $17,000 there
No,
this year.
Okay.
No way.
unless it was spent before we got dollars, but there's been nothing. spent
No,
on
I mean,
that
we
all
just,
since.
yeah, no.
Okay.
Because and I understand the confusion, and I think that but then when you look at unexpended balance, that tells you,
The unexpended balance is 26,000.
which is what is supposed to be in the account. I can't explain the other fees. but
Can't explain the detail,
No,
just the end result. What they're
Can I
telling
just say the devil's in the details? For me, the devil's in the details. So,
you. Where did those numbers come from?
So if there's 26,405 in there, yes, we can transfer 12,500.
well, and when you look at, your overall Bricktown Hall in bold, unexpended balance shows around $31,000. So that's what also makes me believe that in that, we really do have around 26,000, because of the other things that we haven't.
if you
But
believe,
those we haven't paid.
And that's
So,
all
but
those
I-
utilities.
yes, the main expense right now is utilities in that building. But there was the recommendation to do some work on that building for a second egress. Howard, that was where this
Yeah, I know,
money,
we voted on it, so.
that's where this money was raised and appropriated, okay, for the 27,000.
Where do you have any document that shows from these, what is included in the budget? In other words, are you gonna put a door in this building, or a window in something else, or insulate something else? Is there something documented that we can look back and say, we planned this X amount of dollars to go for that,
For the town buildings in general,
anything?
You must be kidding.
The recommendations, or?
No, just because nobody's gonna remember that, they get in there and they look at the particular line item. Especially me, I don't know what was
The-
included.
All right, the budget for the Bricktown Hall, for $25,000 for buildings, what was going to be done with that money, Alicia?
so
It's just a number.
You know,
Get out of here, slam it in, don't spend it, and we
But
have
I'm
to
saying
pay it.
if there was
so
a certain amount put in there for a specific
there
project,
was. there-
that's all I'm asking,
Ye-
is it documented we can look at?
It would be documented on the videos with the budget committee, Howard,
No, there's nothing right.
but there is nothing in writing.
This is a capital project, okay, that our committee put forward, there would be.
We,
Okay? We always put forward a capital project.
and the second egress was a priority for the building committee on the Bricktown Hall so that it could be opened up to be used.
Here it goes, I just want to see what it's documented.
So
No.
I will say this,
Not the
Howard.
25,000.
Ha-
Was that 25,000?
There is a project plan for the town buildings. It is on the town website. It is one that we have put together when we did our study, the building committee. We put forth capital projects and we put forth maintenance projects. I have actively been working on the Grange Hall. That is a building. And when we talked about doing energy efficiency, we moved ARPA money into a energy efficient account. The lighting, Alicia, keep me honest, we put energy efficient lighting in the Grange Hall. okay?
As we did in here.
And the third floor Bricktown.
And the other item that was asked for the Grange Hall in their maintenance budget, and there is a maintenance checklist that has been accepted that is to be gone through to make sure that that building is checked upon every month. There is broken into sections. There's monthly, quarterly, and yearly inspection items that Isaac is supposed to be doing. And then turned into the board so that they know, because part of the DOJ recommendation and adherence to the town buildings was that we did not have a checklist. So the committee, the buildings committee, built one for each building. So the two remaining things that I have asked for the Grange Hall is a heat pump to help cool the building in the summertime and keep it warm and energy efficient. That should come out of the opera money. There was also some holes in the ceiling tile from the mice eating it that we have now hopefully eradicated. So I have asked Isaac to look at the ceiling tiles to see if A, there's any insulation that needs to go up into the attic area, as well as look at what the cost is to replace those ceiling tiles, so that we are not just having our heat go up through the roof in that building, because that building is used 6 days a week. The committee has also been actively working on a plan for the Bricktown Hall, or Bricktown House. The Moore building was sold, so you can scratch that off. We are trying to get grants. We are trying to use the ARPA money. We are trying to use the capital money that's been set aside. And in addition, we knew that based on the fire marshal's recommendation, to open that building up so that we could hold town meetings or larger scale events, we needed a second form of egress, which is what the $27,000 was set aside for. That is the history of those buildings right now. We've also made a recommendation on the old firehouse, but the board didn't like the recommendation that we made, so.
So,
And last week, they had this whole building scanned. Insulation.
can we go back to Article 2?
Yep.
That's where we're at,
Article 2.
And
in theory.
so is there 12,500 to transfer to have the trees removed?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Okay.
I think-
I can't vote.
I
yes on a guess.
I think the overall budget, in the overall arching budget, there is 12,500 that we will not go negative for all of the buildings, okay? So when you look at the green sheet, okay, yes, 68,000 was associated, but in total, public plots and areas has 125,650. Okay, so they can move that money around. Do I think that, are we going to overdraw 125,650 if we transfer the 12,500? No. And expend it? No.
And this account that we're moving it to doesn't have the funds in it to remove these trees?
No, I don't think there's any in it.
No, there is some, but it's
Oh.
it's not enough, and
Because we didn't have
it wasn't.
we didn't have a municipal building.
No, there is a municipal grounds, but it wasn't, the goal is not to deplete, I guess,
Supplies, equipment, repair and maintenance.
And is this something that the
Municipal building grounds was
the town is
40.
responsible for?
8,500.
3,800.
The municipal
It's not something
grounds,
that like CMP, I mean, I know they just came up.
There are all these trees that are around this building that they're dead.
they're dead.
They're ash beetle or whatever it was, and they are becoming I won't say dangerous, but they are, I mean, they're definitely something that should be taken care of immediately or sooner than later.
There's no immediate danger. They just
Well-
come down at some point this year.
Yes, okay.
They've got to come down.
They need to come.
Yeah.
It's a safety hazard. So do I have a recommendation on a vote for the transfer of the 12,005 from the Bricktown Hall?
I move
To the-
to accept Article 2 as written and for recommendation of yes.
Okay? Okay. All in favor of a yes vote? All those opposed?
Can't-
The yeses carry it. Okay. Seeing how there's no other articles to discuss, I'll entertain.
What about Article 4?
Article 4 is just a memorandum
that's just
and an
that.
ordinance change from,
Right.
so it's nothing we need to vote on.
No.
I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion. Second. Third.
Okay? All in favor?
Yes.
Good night.